So Logan Paul, YouTube's biggest douchebag, has now officially sued Coffeezilla for his CryptoZoo coverage. If you don't remember, CryptoZoo is a 3-part series that Coffeezilla did way back in the ancient times. December of 2022 is when he covered CryptoZoo. It was a 3-part series. He basically called a bunch of people scammers. It wasn't just Logan Paul, but obviously Logan Paul's name was attached to it. He helped create that whole CryptoZoo thing. He got a lot of backlash for it. He actually released a bunch of response videos, which we'll cover that in just a second. But let's briefly take a look at the actual lawsuit. I'll have a link below to this if you want to take a look at it yourself. It is 47 pages long, and in my opinion, it's 46 pages of absolute gobbledygook and only about 1 page of actual interesting information. Most of it is just Logan and Logan Paul's lawyers kind of trying to fluff up Logan Paul and make him look like he had nothing to do with this. And Coffeezilla, he's just smearing Logan's perfect name, not like Logan has done a bunch of other things and crypto scams and like Dink Doink and all. No. Logan didn't do any of that, guys. Logan Paul, he's a saint, the big saint on YouTube. And Coffeezilla came along and he just smeared his name. Bad man, Coffeezilla. How could you do that? So we'll take a look at the lawsuit right here. We'll look at the initial complaint. Plaintiff Logan Paul, for his complaint against defendant Steven, aka Coffee Break Productions LLC, Coffeezilla, alleges as following. Nature of the action. Plaintiff Logan Paul, a globally recognized entertainer, athlete, and entrepreneur, brings this defamation action against defendant Steven Coffeezilla, a self-described investigative journalist and internet detective with no actual journalism training or a private investigator's license, to hold him accountable for maliciously and repeatedly publishing false statements accusing Paul of operating a scam in connection with a troubled blockchain project called CryptoZoo. Now, CryptoZoo is one of many projects that Logan Paul has been involved in over the years. He's been involved in other shams like Dink Doink, like I mentioned earlier. Now, honestly, it's interesting that Logan doesn't mention of any of the other crypto projects he was involved in that, massively failed and people lost money on, like Dink Doink. It's just CryptoZoo, guys, just CryptoZoo. Don't think about those other cryptocurrency projects. And it's interesting that in the actual lawsuit, again, it's 47 pages, I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but in the actual lawsuit, he talks about how other people involved with CryptoZoo basically, they screwed over CryptoZoo. He talks about one of the developers who Logan Paul talked about in a video, basically smearing the guy, said he was, he had a past criminal history, even though Logan Paul hired the guy to run the project for him. Logan Paul is not at fault at all. Pass the blame over to the other guy, right? No, Logan's a saint, guys. Remember that. Logan's a saint. So he's going after Coffeezilla in this. And what I want to say about this is I really don't think Coffeezilla has much to worry about this lawsuit. This is just a complete waste of time on Logan Paul's, why Logan Paul is actually doing this. And I don't think it's really going to go anywhere. I don't think it's going to cost him any money either, to be honest with you. Now, first I want to cover why I don't think this case is going to go anywhere. And to do that, we got to take a look back at Logan Paul's initial response to the CryptoZoo coverage. So Coffeezilla released his 3-part series in December of 2022. In January of 2023, Logan Paul was really pissed off about this whole coverage. So he released this very poorly received video where he dressed up like Coffeezilla, and he basically said the same thing as in the lawsuit, how Coffeezilla doesn't have any integrity. He's not an actual investigator. He doesn't know. He's just doing this for clickbait, right? And he actually said at the end of that video that he was going to be suing Coffeezilla. He said, "I'll see you in court."
I got everything stolen from me in our community, stopped promoting publicly as soon as I knew the extent of the internal issues, took all of the heat on social, and you still published a defamatory hit piece fully knowing I was innocent just so you could enrich yourself in your $10 million studio. Sharp, but deeply unethical, dangerously misleading, and illegal. I suggest you use the money you got from pumping your Patreon to hire a good lawyer. You're gonna need it. We're gonna handle this ourselves while we continue to build CryptoZoo, and I'll see you in court.
Now, after Logan Paul released that video in early January 2023, the internet, or at least YouTube, had a collective kumbaya kind of come together moment where everyone universally agreed that Logan Paul is a complete idiot, right? You had everyone making videos trashing Logan Paul. You had Moist Critical, you had Canadian Moist Critical, you had Texas Moist Critical, you had Furry Moist Critical, basically all the different Moist Critical multiverse dimension versions of him. They all came together And everyone basically universally agreed that Logan Paul is an idiot. And we all collectively gave him a nice internet whooping. And he eventually deleted that video, and he released a new video where he actually he released a new video a few weeks, or I think like a week or two later, where he decided he's not going to sue Coffeezilla, and he actually thanked Coffeezilla. He thanked Coffeezilla in the video, said, "Thank you, Steven, for covering this. You're really helping expose this. Thanks so much." And he says Coffeezilla is not a criminal, and I'm going to do everything in my part to give the money back to the victims of CryptoZoo. Take a look at that.
Coffeezilla is not a criminal. I called him, I apologized. My initial response to his series was that of fire, an ego flare, whatever it is, pride. I'm a fighter at heart, and I was defensive because I know I never scammed anyone with this project. I never made any money, never sold any tokens, and I only had the best intentions going in. But the fact is that suing Coffeezilla is not going to help CryptoZoo holders, so I do need to focus my attention where it should be, which is on fans and supporters of me. You guys mean the world to me, so I'd like to announce my 3-step plan moving forward. I appreciate your guys' patience while we do our internal investigation, and I promise to be transparent and disclose any information we find out in the process. And lastly, thank you, Coffeezilla. You have catalyzed this, and I am very grateful for your work and your investigation, and I mean that. Thank you, bro.
All right, to me now, that's pretty funny. And in all honesty, I think that if this case actually does go to trial, I think that Coffeezilla's lawyer, all he has to do is show this video of Logan Paul thanking Coffeezilla. Coffeezilla, you're not a criminal. Thank you for investigating CryptoZoo. And then the judge is going to be like, all right, case dismissed. Logan Paul, you're an idiot. I don't understand how you can be thanking him, saying that you're going to do everything right, everything in your power to make this right. And then a year and a half later, you change your mind like a 14-year-old girl, and you're like, no, I'm suing him now. I'm suing him. I can't believe he called me out like this. Coffeezilla, a bad man. I'm going to take him down. Now, with this lawsuit specifically, Logan Paul, I think, actually has 5 different lawyers that he has on the case going after Coffeezilla. And I think there's a few things that are going on here. First off, if you don't know, Logan Paul actually sued another guy after going after Prime a few months ago. He basically made some very unsubstantiated claims about how Prime is like hurting people or stuff like that. And that lawsuit I actually think has some merit, which I think why most people didn't cover that, because the guy was saying some pretty outlandish things. So I think Logan Paul, he sued that guy, and he's like, hey, nobody cared that I sued this guy, so let's just fire off lawsuit at everyone I don't like, right? I think that's part of it, why he ultimately decided to sue Coffeezilla. And I think another thing that happened is Logan Paul, I think he has like $50 or $100 million. And when you have that much money, I think you're probably surrounded by a bunch of yes men who tell you whatever you want to hear and have no problem with spending all your money. This guy has 5 lawyers on the case, and I'm sure all these lawyers are like, yeah, we'll happily spend your money on this completely frivolous lawsuit that you have no chance of winning, Logan Paul. Absolutely. We'll spend $500, $600 an hour in lawyer fees. Milk you for everything you got, Logan Paul. Absolutely. You're not going to win the case, but we can definitely take the case and spend all your money for you. We're happy to do that for you, Logan. Now, in Coffeezilla's case, I know some people have been saying, if he has to start a GoFundMe, everyone is going to support him. And whether he chooses to do a GoFundMe or not, that's completely up to him. I really don't know. But I do know for a fact that he has something called media liability insurance, or some people call it errors and omissions insurance. If you don't know what this is, it's basically just insurance that if you get sued for defamation, you file a claim with your insurance company, and the insurance company pays for all of the lawyer fees. And if you potentially lose the case, they will pay out the settlement cost for all of that. Now, I know that Coffeezilla Steven has that coverage. I've actually talked to him before. So I really don't think this is much of an issue for him. I don't know if Logan Paul knows that. Maybe Logan Paul just thought, hey, I have infinite amount of money. I can bury you in fees in court. That's not going to happen, Logan. Steven has insurance for this type of thing. So you're literally just wasting your own money. A lot of people in media actually, most YouTubers I don't think really know about liability insurance. But in traditional media and in Hollywood, pretty much everyone knows about this. If you don't know the whole Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp thing, Amber Heard lost her case against Johnny Depp and she had to pay him like millions of dollars. But she ultimately didn't have to pay anything because she had errors and omissions insurance. Her insurance company paid all of that. Another case was recently the Fox News and the $787 million payout to Dominion for the false stories they told about Dominion voting systems that they lost. They have to pay that out. Fox News doesn't have to pay out anything. They have errors and omissions insurance, and the insurance company pays out the total of that, right? So if you know what you're doing and you have errors and omissions insurance, it's really not that big of a deal. Like, obviously, no one wants to go to court and have to defend themselves. That's going to take a lot of time and effort to do that. But actually, monetarily wise, it's most likely not going to cost Steven anything to defend himself in this particular case. Now, if you use the insurance, like any insurance, your premium cost goes up every month that you have to pay. But obviously, that's going to be a lot less than what you would actually have to pay for insurance fees, for lawyer fees, which is generally can be like $500, $600 an hour. So again, I'll have a link to this entire lawsuit if you want to take a look at it. It's basically just, like I said, Logan Paul going over his version of events, how he's not responsible at all for CryptoZoo, guys. It's the Crypto King, it's the developer he hired, all these other guys that Logan Paul got involved in the project. But again, not his fault. Logan Paul, as we all know, he's a little saint. He's YouTube's perfect little angel. He's never done anything wrong. He's a perfect guy, guys. Don't trash Logan Paul. But yeah, I really don't think this is much of an issue for Coffeezilla Steven. I don't know that this will actually go to court. I think it's a slap lawsuit that he can get taken out before it actually goes to court. But if it does go to court, he has insurance to protect himself. So it's literally just a waste of time on Logan Paul's effort. He's literally just flushing money down the toilet. But I'd love to know your opinion below. What do you think about this? Do you think Logan Paul was merited in actually suing Coffeezilla, or is this a waste of time and this lawsuit won't actually go anywhere? Let me know in the comments below.